Good morning to our future teachers, the BSE 2B mathematics majors. Today, we'll be discussing another topic on the mathematics of investment, and that is the value added to simple interest. But before that, I just would like you to have this quotation from an anonymous author, and he or she stated that life is a math equation. In order to gain the most, you know how to convert negatives into positives. Like the condition or the challenges that we are facing right now, the pandemic, the COVID-19, it's a negative situation. But we have to look into the beauty in it. That that at the moment we are enjoying our health, we are still safe, and we are still not infected by the virus. We are learning, we are studying in the comfort of our house. Though some of you are struggling with the weak internet connectivity, but still you are kicking and alive. So that's a very great reason why we have to be grateful and thankful for the life and for the health that God is giving to us. So, the fundamental formula in solving the value added to the simple interest is A is equal to P times the quantity 1 plus RT. And where P is the principal amount, R is the rate, and T is the time in years. And A, of course, is the value added to the simple interest. Most of the banks are offering short-term loans with one another to ensure that they have capital on hand. And these offerings can be done even in an overnight loan. So to make it clear to you, here are some of the examples. Suppose that two banks are negotiating to one another, Bank A and Bank B. Bank A asks Bank B to lend it with 2 million pesos, but only for one day. Then perhaps the response of Bank B is, I can only offer you 1 million pesos with an interest rate of 4.5%. Question is, how much would Bank A have to pay tomorrow if it agrees with the condition offered by Bank B? So the hint is 360 days equals 1 year. So the first thing that you have to do is to start organizing the known variables in the problem by listing. So we know that the principal amount in the problem is equal to 1 million pesos. And then the rate is 4.5%, and then convert it into decimal, so you will be having 0.045. And the time is 1 day, so that is equal to 1 over 360, since T is always computed in years. Then after listing all the known variables in the problem, you then write the formula in solving for the value added in the simple interest, and that is A equals P times the quantity of 1 plus RT. And then we solve. The first step is to substitute all the known variables. So you will have A equals P, which is 1 million, times the quantity 1 plus 0.045, which is the rate, times 1 over 360, which is the time in years. And then you simplify it further. We know that 1 plus 0.045 times 1 over 360 is equal to 1.0012, and so on. Multiply it by 1 million. So A, or the value added to the simple interest, is equal to 1,125,000 pesos. And that means that Bank A will have to pay Bank B a total of 1,125,000 after borrowing 1 million for just 1 day. You see that the value added to the principal amount is equal to 125 pesos. So the interest is 125 pesos after 1 day. The question here is why 1 year is equal to 360 in the problem. Maybe you are wondering why we use 360 days instead of 365 or 366 per year. The months have 30 days, 28 or 29 and 31 days. Despite of all these, finance industry is applying the banker's rule. So we use the banker's rule here. So what do we mean by banker's rule? So for time of any investment less than or equal to 1 year, we use 360 days for a year and 90 days for a quarter. So we just have to look into the time. If the time is less than or equal to 1 year, then we have to use 360 days equivalent to 1 year and 90 days equivalent to 1 quarter. But if the time of any investment is greater than 1 year, then we have to use 365 days equal to 1 year and 91 days for a quarter. So that's the difference. The banker's rule stated that if and only if the time of investment is less than or equal to 1 year, then you have to use 360 days for a year and 90 days for a quarter. While if the time of investment is greater than 1 year, then you have to use 365 days equal to 1 year and 91 days for a quarter. Here are some examples to make it clearer to you. Suppose that 1 million pesos is borrowed for 3 days at an interest rate of 4.5%. The question is, how much would be the total amount to be repaid? So take note that in this problem, the time is 3 days, and 3 days is less than 1 year. Meaning, in this problem, by applying the banker's rule, we have to use 1 year equals 360 days. So our time is 3 over 360. By applying the formula, A equals P times 1 plus RT, or P times the quantity of 1 plus RT, we simply substitute all the given or known variables. So A now equals P, which is equal to 1 million pesos, times the quantity of 1, which is constant, plus 0.045, since 4.5% must be expressed in decimal, times 3 over 360, which is the time in years. And then by doing some algebraic manipulation, we multiply and simplify, we will be having A equals 1 million times 1.000375. Then we multiply the 2 to get A, and A equals 1,375,000. So the value added to the simple interest is 1,375,000. But what if the interest became 5% and the loan will just be for 2 days? So again, in this problem, the time is less than 1 year. So we apply the banker's rule. 1 year is equal to 360 days. So the time here would be 2 over 360. So again, by applying the formula, A equals P times the quantity of 1 plus RT, we substitute all the known variables into the problem. So A equals 1 million pesos times 1 plus 0.05, since the rate is equal to 5% and we express it into decimal, which is equal to 0.05, times the time in years, which is 2 over 360. And then by simplifying it further, A equals 1 million pesos times 1.0002777 and so on. And then we multiply. The value added to the simple interest now will become 1,277.77 pesos. The question now is, what if the missing variable is not A? How can you compute for the other variables? We can do some algebraic manipulations from the original formula. A equals P times the quantity 1 plus RT. So here are some examples. Suppose that Bank A offers Bank B with this. Bank A, give me 999,000 today and I will return 1 million tomorrow. Bank B, sounds like a good deal. Let's have a deal. So, the two banks agreed on a deal. The question is, which bank do you think will benefit in this deal? We start by organizing our data by listing all the known variables in the problem. So A is equal to 1 million pesos. So that's the value added to the simple interest since Bank A and Bank B agreed to return 1 million after 1 day with a principal amount of 999,000. And then our T is equal to 1 day, and then we know that 1 day is less than 1 year. And then by applying the banker's rule, T is equal to 100 is equal to 1 over 360. And then using the formula A equals P times the quantity 1 plus RT, we substitute all the known variables to solve for the interest rate, since we are solving for the interest rate because we would want to know who will benefit more into this offer. Then we have to substitute A is equal to 1 million equals P, which is 999,000, times the quantity of 1 plus R over 360, since R times 1 over 360 is equal to R over 360. Then simplifying it further, you will have 1.00100 equals 1 plus R over 360. So we divide the whole equation by 999. And then simplifying it further, we will be having 0.00100 equals R over 360 by addition rule of equation. And then R now is equal to 0.360360 and so on. So our rate now is 36.03. So that is the interest rate. It is terribly high for the borrower, but it will be a very good deal for the lender. In this case, or in this scenario, Bank B will be the one to benefit more. If you have any more questions with regards to what we discussed today, please send a message into our group chat, SEM5 BSE 2B. Thank you and God bless.